What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have more of an informative video. It's about some tips that I wish I knew as a beginning manga collector. I've seen a lot of people in the manga community do this kind of video, so I thought that I would give some tips and my takes on some of that. So let's just get right into the video. The first tip that I would recommend is, of course, know how much space you have. And this is a big tip because you should know how much space you have in the place that you're going to store your manga so that you can plan your bookshelves accordingly. And speaking of bookshelves, you should know how much space you do have in your bookshelf. Be mindful of that because when collecting manga, it stacks up very quickly. It snowballs a lot considering that some series are very long and very long running. And you might do things like impulse buy, which we'll talk about later on. Also, one thing that I would recommend in order to save some space is definitely buy some shelf risers. I know that you can buy some on Amazon, or you could probably find them cheap at a store like Daiso if you have it near you, but that can nearly double the amount of manga you're able to store in your bookshelves. You can double stack them, but they will still be visible, so it's not, I guess, visually unappealing where you're covering up your books in the back with the books in the front, if you get what I mean. The second tip I have for y'all is to collect volumes in order. I definitely wish that I did this when I first started because I did end up buying a lot of volumes that I thought that I would like, and I never ended up really starting. So let's just think about it. If there's a long series that you think you may enjoy, let's just say like One Punch Man, which has probably 23 or 22 volumes published in English at the time of this recording, and you get a volume 7, but you haven't even started from volume 1, you don't even know if you like the story. So it's good to start from the beginning. You'll be able to get a full grasp of the story. You'll be able to get all the details, and you'll save yourself a lot of money if you end up not liking the series in, say, volume 3 or volume 4, or even volume 1. It won't be a big investment, and then it'll be a lot easier for you to sell later on because you have a set in order. You can post it as something like volumes 1 through 4, but if you collect, different volumes, not different volumes, but if you collect standoff volumes, it's gonna be a lot harder to sell, and you don't even know if you're gonna like the series. So collect in order if possible. The third tip that I have for y'all is to keep track of what manga you own, whether it be taking pictures of your bookshelf or if you have a spreadsheet. Me personally, I don't do this, so I should probably take my own advice. But keep track of your manga because it'll be very helpful for you if you end up going to a manga store, or if you end up finding some type of manga from a series that you like but you don't know if you have it. It'll stop you from buying things like doubles. An example of how this would benefit me is that I'm collecting Natsume's Book of Friends, which is one of my favorite series. Go ahead and read that, by the way. But I'm collecting Natsume's Book of Friends, which is a very long series. It has about 29 or 30 volumes, and I'm trying to collect the whole thing. However, I don't take my own advice, and I don't really have pictures of my manga collection or a spreadsheet, so I don't know which volumes I have. And this goes back to the other tip where I didn't collect in order, so I really don't know which ones I have. So it's a good thing to have a spreadsheet or a picture and to collect in order, because that would have avoided me a lot of time and effort thinking about, oh, do I have this volume or do I not have this volume? And I probably missed some volumes that I needed because I thought I had them. So be sure to keep track of the volumes you own. Tip number 4 is something that I also struggle with, and I don't follow my own advice, but it's to set a budget. Probably a monthly budget because that's what makes most sense, but set a budget for yourself when it comes to collecting manga. Remember, this is a hobby. It is not a necessity. So when you think about it, there are a bunch of different manga publishers. We know that Viz publishes Shonen Jump stuff for about $7.99 to $9.99. There are other companies that sell their manga for about $11.99 to $14.99 at times. And then there are those other omnibuses which are about $20, $30, even some are $40. So it's good to set a budget for yourself so that you don't dip into the actual necessities like food, gas, or something you need for school. Be sure to set the necessities first and then the manga collecting and hobby stuff below. And building upon tip number 4, which is creating a budget, tip number 5 is to buy what you love. And by creating a budget, you will have more of an idea of how much money you have to buy what you love. It's better to buy what you love than to, I guess, buy things like on a one-off, which is something that I do a lot. Because by buying what you love, you'll be able to stay into the hobby at a longer period of time, and you won't have to worry about having these manga that you don't need. And that also takes up a lot of space, which is very precious, especially if you have a very small space to begin with. So buy what you love, so then you'll be happy with your collection and you'll be less likely to, sell things off later on, even though eventually that's probably what'll happen. I mentioned this tip previously, but is this tip number 5? Probably tip number 6. But this tip is to not impulse buy. This is something, again, that I struggle with because I see a volume for cheap and I end up buying it. I still do it to this day. I even do it in some of my manga shopping videos, to be honest. But don't impulse buy because, again, it's gonna take up some space. It's gonna take up a good chunk of your budget. It may be cheap. You might think you found a volume for $5 and, oh, it's a great deal, I have to buy it. But that's gonna take up money in your budget, which you could have spent on an actual series that you know that you like. So be sure to stop impulse buying because it's probably the biggest thing that'll eat at your wallet at the end of the day, and you'll see that it keeps on adding up as time goes on. And speaking of saving money, tip number 7 is to buy manga used. It's a lot cheaper. So you can buy these at places such as Book Off, you can buy them at places such as eBay, Mercari, you can even buy stuff on Reddit on r/mangaswap. But buying used is one of the best ways to collect things for very cheap. Something like Demon Slayer, which I've seen all over Mercari, I've seen them sell volumes 1 through 12 for like $60. I mean, $5 a volume for something like Demon Slayer, which is very popular, is a very good deal. So don't be afraid to buy used. I know it may not be in perfect condition, but it's still in good enough condition for you to read. So be sure to buy used. Don't be afraid to buy used. I get it if you want to buy brand new, but if you want to save money, if you have a tight budget, buying used will help you a lot. I myself have a lot of volumes that I buy used, and they're on my shelf and I don't really mind it. So they're still readable. Buy used, it'll help you out a lot. All right, so tip number 8 is to buy manga online, which I know sounds crazy for me because most of the manga that I buy is in store on those manga shopping videos that I upload. But the fact of the matter is that you're paying full price for manga when you go in store, and I get it, it's great. I mean, the experience of interacting with people in the bookstore, seeing all the books displayed, it's great. It's great to see, but you're paying full price for your manga when you could be saving a lot by shopping online. One of the biggest retailers online, if not the biggest, where I do know that there's always a sale going on, is Right Stuf Anime. By the way, use my affiliate code in the link down below. But Right Stuf Anime always has a sale and always has manga for under retail. It may be like 10% or 15%, but you're still saving money by doing that. And they also have these big sales, which they do pretty much weekly on certain publishers or certain genres. And then the big ones, which are the birthday sale and the holiday sale, where they have the amazing bundles. You can save a bunch of money and probably get 6 volumes for the price of 8 or 9 volumes. You get the deal. And then there are also other places where you can buy this stuff for sale, such as Amazon, which specifically sells box sets for great prices. Me, myself, I got the Tokyo Ghoul box set and the Tokyo Ghoul re-box set for probably 30 to 35% off, which was a great steal. And those go in and out of stock every so often, so be on the lookout and check there. And then I do know that, like I said before, there are used places which you can buy manga cheaper for. So be on the lookout for online sales and be sure to buy your manga online if you want to save a lot of money. Tip number 9 for me is to not be afraid to sell your manga. So I know it hurts to part with manga. Me, myself, I have series that I should be selling, but I just keep on the shelf for nostalgia reasons. Index, Railgun. But I know it's hard, but it is something that you should definitely do. By selling off the manga that you don't really like anymore or don't really have an attachment to anymore, you get yourself money, you save yourself some space, and then you can reinvest that money and space into series that you actually like. Like I said, I know it's hard, but it's something you have to do. There are a lot of great places to sell your manga. You can go on r/mangaswap, you can go on Mercari, you can go on eBay, you can even go to like local stores that buy it, even though I wouldn't recommend it. Like things like Book Off and other local stores, they kind of buy it for pretty low. So if you want the most bang for your buck, I would sell at places like Mercari, Manga Swap, and eBay. But if you're in a big rush, you can go locally and sell it there. You'll save yourself some space and get some money back. But yeah, be sure to sell your manga if you're not interested in it anymore. There is someone out there who will enjoy it more than you and would be very happy to have that series that you don't really like in their hands, in their collection. And the final tip that I have for y'all is to keep track of what manga or light novel that you're reading. The app that I use for this is AniList, which is, for me, the best tracking app to use. It's very easy on the eyes, it has a great UI, it's very easy to use, and there's a social aspect where you can check out what your friends are reading or what they're reading. By keeping track of the stuff you read, you know like what chapter you end on, you know if the series you're reading is completed or not completed, and you have like this big database of probably what you want to read next because there's a recommendation section. So yeah, it's a really cool app. It also goes in depth on stats such as how many chapters you read that year, how many titles you read that year, what your average score based on the year the manga or light novel you read was. And also it goes into depth what the average score like of certain genres you read. So you'll probably have a better idea of which genre you like the best. It's really cool to see how much you've read since you started reading manga, so I would highly recommend an app that tracks that progress. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below and I could maybe do a part 2. It was a lot of tips, so, and you've probably heard a bunch from other manga YouTubers, so let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it and if you'd like another one. Thank you very much for all the support. I appreciate it very much. Like the video, subscribe, turn on post notifications and all that, and check out my Right Stuff anime affiliate link in the description below. Help me out, I just got it, so pretty excited about that. But thank you again for watching the video. I know it's another informative video. We're trying to make the shift to a more diverse channel, so this will probably help it out a little bit. But yeah, thank you for watching the videos and thank you for watching the channel. I appreciate it and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.